Okay, it's Tuesday after New Year's. Overcast as usual. We had a huge amount of rain yesterday. This has been a normal summer for Cairns, where this is the wet season, and it's been incredibly wet for the last week. So I'm just heading off to the supermarket. It's the first time I've been out for since last Thursday, actually, before New Year's Eve. That was the last time I went out. I'm going to walk it. It could kill me, but I might get the bus back. We'll see how I feel. But I'm feeling pretty chuffed at the moment, because I've had a huge identity crisis of recent times. Not the psychological one that you might first think of when I say a phrase like that. I'm talking about literally proving who I am, because I need to do it for the government, and it's involving money. So of course I've got quite an incentive there to prove my identity. And I thought it was going to be an impossible task, because I've got bad eyesight. I don't have a driver's license, and the two primary sources of ID are passport and driver's license, because they've got the photo ID. But as it turned out, I didn't need to do that. The actual stipulation for ID that they provided on births, deaths and marriages in Victoria, that's where I was born, so I had to go through the Victorian government, that wasn't as strict as the initial guidelines said. Once you got into the actual process of applying, they didn't actually ask as many questions as you might think, except right at the end. Then they went through your employment history and where you used to live, going back to, say, 1982. And, you know, I had a reasonable idea where I was, but I couldn't remember initially street numbers on every place I'd stayed at. And so I took a stab and I got through the bloody thing. So I felt like I'd won mastermind. But the car came out of nowhere. Didn't even slow down either. That's great. So yeah, I was pretty chuffed that I got through it, and they're going to dispatch a birth certificate to me. I thought I'd already applied for one in the past, and I think they used to give discounts if you're on a pension. They don't do that anymore. I think it's a sign that the Andrews government needs all the money they can get. Mind you, can probably say that about any governments at the moment after the virus situation with the shutdowns. The finances of every government seems to be stuffed at the moment. But like I say, it really felt like an incredible weight off my shoulders. I thought I was going to have huge difficulties. The worst case scenario would be to have to actually go to a cop shop and see if I can get someone like a JP to actually cite the documents and then send them through the mail, which just lengthens the process. But doing it online, of course, speeds things up, because there's only one lot of mail. I don't know why I did that. There's only one lot of mail required, and that's to receive the document. They've okayed me online, which, like I say, it feels like a miracle to me, and is a huge relief. So it's a good start to the day, because I was actually heading off to Officeworks to get scan some documents, because my cheap printer doesn't do any scanning anymore, so it's basically totally useless. It's a paperweight. Mine only cost me 40 bucks. Old Canon, the basic Canon printer. And it served me well for probably a year. It's pretty early at the moment. It's probably about 8 o'clock, so all people are going to work. So I'm going to head to the supermarket early, because it's really been muggy up here now, because we've got the heat and the rain. It's good that it's overcast, because there's no direct sun, but gee, it's been oppressive. I'm still sleeping okay without the aircon. I mean, as long as I've got the ceiling fan set to the second level, sometimes even the first level. So not the fastest level, the slowest level, rather than the second level up from that. So the rotation speed fairly low. It still makes it comfortable. Yeah, hopefully I'm not a sweaty mess when I get to the supermarket. I was hoping to do a pit stop at Officeworks is on the way. but now I can just go directly there and get it done, get my shopping. I've run out of greens, didn't have any greens yesterday, so that's not good for the body. Always good to balance the diet. So yeah, they just liquefied again. What I might do is get the mixed greens. What I'll do is make up a salad tonight, and I'll put I'll use half the greens in the bag, the $3 bag, and I'll freeze the other half straight away, because generally I will not I won't have a salad every night. I'd like to vary it a bit, so see how that works. And yeah, I've like I say, I still haven't got the food I made the other week. I've still got that in the freezer, so it's good to preserve that. It's crazy throwing stuff away. I'm just finding over summer that the greens aren't lasting as long, even if they're in the fridge. So I don't know why that is. There's no real reason for it. Like I said, one of them was way within the use by best by date, and it's still wilted and, you know, semi-liquefied, and basically it smelt bad, and you just wouldn't eat it. So strange. But anyway, see what I can pick up this morning. And I've tried some new medication which makes me quite nauseous, which is not pleasant, I'm going to tell you. That's why I've stayed at home for a while. Yeah, it's not healthy staying in that flat all the time. It's one of the reasons another reason I'd like to move to a house, because if I go to a house that's not far off from the beach, I can go for a short stroll in fairly pleasant surroundings, and just get out and about a lot easier. And if I don't even do that, I've still got my own backyard, so, which is only a little courtyard, but that's more than enough for me. So it really suits my lifestyle. There actually is a suitable place on the market now, but going on how the market was prior to Christmas, it's probably going to get snapped up pretty quickly. However, there is a difference now. We've got shutdowns taking place again. I'm not sure about the latest situation because it changes so frequently, but I'm assuming that Victorians can't come up to Queensland at the moment. I may be wrong on that, or oh, sorry, not Victorians, I should say New South Welshmen can't come up here. Again, this is all based on cases rather than deaths and hospitalisation, which I think is insane. But you know, the scaremongers have had a field day in 2020, absolute field day, and the public are incredibly vulnerable to it, except for people like myself who don't necessarily buy stuff like that and like to look at the actual details. Most people, they may not have time, or they just don't have the interest in going into the nitty-gritty. Either way, I think the whole thing's been overblown, and if they continue on with this one-trick pony of shutdowns, people will just eventually rebel and say no, enough. I'm convinced of it, and there's signs of it already. There are people. The mask stuff's still big, and to be quite frank, they haven't really found much of a connection to wearing masks and restricting the spread of the virus. It's more symbolic from what I can gather, because you have to wear the correct masks, and people don't generally do that. They don't wear them properly. They don't put on fresh ones. There's a whole lot of protocols you should follow if you're really serious about it. But again, it's another example of virtue signalling, saying I'm a responsible citizen and you're basically a leper. That's the message that comes out when you've got a whole group, mob if you like, of people wearing masks. People not. Thank God I live in Cairns. Yeah, it's already sweaty just going one half the walk to the actual supermarket. The supermarket was reasonably quiet. It's good, and I got most of the stuff I wanted, but see if I can pick up some extra stuff from Woolies in a couple of days maybe. See how we go. But it's spitting again. had so much precipitation of recent days. It's just constantly grey. There's not much sun to be seen, which is okay if you want to walk, because the sun is a killer. But you can see how cloudy it is through there. Yeah, got myself another one of those McCain Supreme family pizzas, so I find they're quite good. So, and I found out that also they work well if you freeze them. Not an issue if you defrost them, they taste just as fine. So I'll be slapping that straight into the freezer, because I've got a bit of food in stock anyway. And I've got the slow cooked meat still in the freezer, so things are good. So I'm a bit puffy. My fitness level's certainly down. Probably not so good with medication either. Hopefully I can finally get off this crap. Be good. Back to some level of normality. But I can't travel overseas at the moment, so what's the difference? The only thing is I want to get the flat painted and ready for sale. But if I'm getting knocked about by the pills and sort of affecting my energy level and also giving me nausea, it's not a very pleasant thing to have to contemplate moving house under those circumstances. So it may be wiser for me to defer it, or just at least see how the second week of medication goes, because this is I think I started last Wednesday, so it's still early days, so the body may adjust to the crap that's been pumped into my system. Who knows? Human body, very hard to pick. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment, or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great.